Hi, welcome to Craft Little Things. I'm Andrea. Today I'm going to revisit this little wrapping clip gift box that I made a few days ago. I shared the video and I'm out of shot for quite a bit of it, or nearly out of shot. I didn't think it'd really matter because I thought it was quite a simple design, but I'm going to revisit it. I don't like to leave things like that. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to just show you how to make this set of notelets to go inside it, and also I'm going to change the colour up a little bit, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail because last time I had all my pieces ready, so this time I'm going to cut the pieces sort of with you. So to start off then, you need a piece of DSP that measures 5 by 6 for the box, and then the inch that you cut off you just crop down to fit across here. You also need a piece of scrap cardstock in whatever colour you choose. I'm obviously going with a coordinating colour just to make this backing for your sentiment if you want to, you don't have to. And then you need a piece of 9 by 4 1/8 to make your wrap, but I've chosen to make mine a bit bigger. Mine's 11.5 by 5.5, and I'm just going to stamp it and then I'm going to cut it down because I just want an extra piece for another layer of the backing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ink, which is the Pineapple Punch, which is so gorgeous, which I've already made a mess of, as you can see. And I'm going to get the stamp that I'm going to use. Well, for the last one I used this stamp here from Seasons with Kindness, but I'm going to use this stamp this time, just to decorate the box. I've used this so much already, I've only just got it as well. Here it is. I've got another project that I want to film using this set. Right, so I'm just going to randomly stamp. Oh, where did that green come from? Oh, do you ever do that? Mess your... Where did it come from? Oh dear. That stamp is so juicy. I might have to rebuy this stamp because that is not good. Where's the green coming from? Now, I think the thing is here, I must have had some green on my stamp that just didn't come out. When I went like that, it was clear, and then it's come out from the edges. So I guess what you could do, I mean, you could try and get some stiff card and sort of scrape it out, I guess. That's sort of getting some of it out. I don't know if anybody's got top tips for uncontaminating their ink pads. Let me know. I suppose the best top tip is to be more careful in the first place. But anyway, I can still use the edgy bits here. That one looks a bit of a strange colour as well. I think what I'll do is when I use it next time, I'll just be really careful to use around here and not to use the green bit, and in the meantime I'll order myself another one. So let that be a lesson to you. Right, it's definitely a lesson to me. Right, so we've got this stamped then. The other thing that I've stamped is I've stamped onto Whisper White all 5 of the new colours. That one's come out a bit strange as well. All 5 of the new colours, and what I've done is I've popped them all out with the Pretty Label punch, okay? And I use the thank you from the Love What You Do as I did before, okay? Now I'm going to cut my cardstock down. So we're going to go just over 4. So 4 1/8, 4 1/4 if you like, but 4 1/8 does it okay. And then you've got a couple of bits left to play with to do your sentiment. And by 9. Okay, that's a nice big chunk there to do your sentiment with. By 9. And then you want this to be 5 by 6. So just lop an inch off the end, and like I say, keep that for your just to decorate the top of your box. Now I'm just going to cut out, I'm just going to get my pretty label punch, I'm just going to cut out one of those, so I've got it for later. And one of those, so I've got it for later. And I don't know, you know, if this, I'm just going to put that back in its packet. I don't know if this thank you, if that was a bit contaminated as well, because that's looking more orange than, just going to, I think it might have been contaminated earlier and I just never noticed. So I'm just going to re-stamp that on the back. Better. Yeah, I think that's going to work a little bit just to flush that out, just scraping that colour off the top, but I think I am going to have to buy a new one. I also need a new Versamark for the same reason. So pop those labels all to one side with everything else. And now, actually, that's come out really nice. I might buy myself an ombre pad and do that, because I love the way that's gone green and yellow actually. So now we'll do some scoring. You'd rather I did the quick version, won't you, in a minute? So we're just going to score 1 inch on each side. You can decide whether you're going to use stripy or spots. All of these, this stack come in 2 kinds of stripes and 2 kinds of spots. So that's just 1 inch on each side. And then on this one, we start off, we do 1/2 inch, two inches, 3 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches, and 8.5 inches. Sorry, and we don't score at all on the other side. So that's all we have to do for that. And then for our little cards, these measure 5.5 by 3 3/4, and we're just going to score them at 2 3/4 to get our little cards. Two and 3/4. I'll just do the metrics for you if you want me to. So we've got this piece is 5 by 6 inches, so that's 12.7 by 15.2 centimetres, and then we've just scored it at 2.5 centimetres on each side. This one measures 9 by 4 1/8, so that's 22.9 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres, and we've just scored it on the long side only at 3.8 centimetres, 5 centimetres, 7.6 centimetres, 15.2 centimetres, 17.8 centimetres and 21.6 centimetres. And then the little cards measure 5.5 by 3 3/4, so that's 12.7 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres, and we've just scored them all on the long side only at 7 centimetres. Yeah, 7 centimetres. Okay, now that's it. So all we do now is we decide, are we having spotty or stripes? Spotty or stripe? I'm going to go with stripes. So we just burnish score lines on all of those. Hopefully I'm in shot. And then we take our scissors and we just cut up on 2 sides, notching slightly if you want, just on the flap. Oops, notched in a bit much there. You're just cutting up to the first horizontal. And just notching. And then all we do is a little bit of Tombow on each flap. I bet I went out of shot again there when I was cutting. It's the way I sit. But all I did was I just cut up each of the score lines until I reached at each corner until I reached the horizontal. So just cut up this side, up that side. Okay, that's all I did. Nothing exciting. And then just fold over until all your flaps are nicely secured. And that's your little box ready, so you can pop that over to dry and you can just test that your cards fit in. They do, because you've got, obviously your envelope's going to be slightly bigger. And then just for your wrap piece then, you take the small pieces on the end and you fold those backwards onto the pattern, okay, and then burnish. So the two end pieces get folded backwards and burnished. And then the rest of your score lines you fold forward and burnish. Nothing tricky about that. And then your box sits in there. These come over and clip together with a clip. Now you can use paper clips, you can use little pegs, you can use the gold binder clips like I have, whatever you want. You can glue this to the bottom if you want as well. So I'm going to glue this one down. Just put a bit of glue on the bottom and glue it in. You do have that little 1/16 of an inch at each side just to give you a little bit of overlap. If you do glue it in, you're not going to have as much play as you would have if it wasn't glued in that once it's glued in, it's stuck, it's not going to slide about and conform to whatever else you're doing with it. And then the last thing to do once you've popped your clip on, it'll start to sort of develop some memory of its own. So just get your clip, get your edges nice and lined up. If they're not lined up straight, it's going to go all wonky. Push your sides of your box in, and it'll just sit nicely. You can, if you want to, you can add on extra 1/16 of an inch for your where you're going to fold it over, but you don't really need to. Okay. I think it's better if you don't glue it down. If you do glue it down, like I say, you don't get any movement in it, so it can. And now on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a strip of that DSP. I'm going to just mark it and trim it off. I'm not going to bother with getting my trimmer out. Pop that on there. That just gets glued on. You can use the spotty side or the stripy side, whichever one you choose. And then you just layer up this sentiment. So to the middle. If you don't want it to come off the edge of your box, then just shuffle them up a bit tighter. Okay, but that's the box finished. I mean, you can round off the corners, you can add some ribbon, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to make the cards now. So for the cards, all you need is, as I said, 4 pieces of Whisper White, which are 5.5 by 3 3/4. So that's 14 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. And then you're just going to score them at 2 3/4 centimetres, which is 7 centimetres. 2 3/4 inches, which is 7 centimetres. Burnish them. And what I've done is I've just done 4 to put inside. And then what I've done is I've used the stripy pattern and I've cut it in different ways. And you can use the spots if you want, or you can, I'm going to use the spots for these. And then these little panels of DSP are 2.5 by 3.5. So 6.4 by 8.9. And then they're just going to be stuck on to your cardstock. And I've got them in all the new colours then. I've used all 5 colours in the project. That's the Grapefruit Grove. This is Lovely Lipstick. Let's see if I can remember what they're called. Call Me Clover. I didn't like this green at first, but it's kind of growing on me. Thought it was a bit too garish. I love the Grapefruit Grove and the Pineapple Punch straight away. Lipstick has definitely grown on me. And the Blueberry Bushel. And so then what you do is you just get a dimensional had a pack of dimensionals in my hand, but they've disappeared. Get a couple of dimensionals and stick them on. I'd stick more on if I was had more time. Dimensional, and just pop it in the middle. And there you go, simple little notelets. Things don't have to be complicated when you're making them with lovely quality materials and you've got your colour coordination spot on. Less can be more for sure. The final thing is, because these are an unusual size card and you need them to fit in the box, you can either, because for envelopes, you can either make them bigger, the box bigger to start with, or instead of doing proper envelopes, you can do these little pouches which are really easy to use and do the same thing really as an envelope. Look at the state of my hands. And all this is a piece of 4 7/8 DSP by 6-inch DSP, and all it is, it's wrapped around, it's scored at 5.5, glued over, just glued at the bottom, and then I've just used the end of the punch just to punch out a little finger hole so you can get them in and out easily. And they make perfect sized little wallets for your cards, and it's just a little bit something different to an envelope, and they fit into the box. Okay, so that's how I overcame that problem, because using the envelope punch board, I mean there probably is an envelope you can make, but using the envelope punch board there wasn't sort of a standard size that I could make. So there we go, there's our little clip top box, and I hope you enjoyed making that. I've really enjoyed making it and sharing it with you in a way that you can actually see what I'm doing. So take care, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you, bye bye.